I'm currently just packing up my things, ready to leave the city. I've been staying in Le Village guest house, hostel and bar since I've been in Cebu City. I actually wanted to stay in Mad Monkey because that was much more recommended, but it was fully booked, so I've been staying here, and honestly I've actually really enjoyed it. The vibe's been really nice. The only thing I would say about this hostel is the cleanliness. Well, my hair does not look nice. I've just showered, and today I'm off to Moalboal, which is over on the west coast of Cebu. I'm gonna get a public transport there, but I'll take you through my journey, how much it's gonna cost, because it's a very popular journey to do Cebu City to Moalboal. And I don't know how well you can hear me because there's a very bad background noise, but yeah, let's go. Okay, so now in a tricycle on the way to the accommodation in Moalboal, which is about 15 minutes away. So literally, like, where I'm in the middle of Managsama Beach and Moalboal right now. I keep getting those two confused. And you're supposed just to be able to snorkel off of here. And there's sardines and turtles. So I'm gonna go have a look. So something that I've been interested in for a while, or intrigued I would say more than anything, is freediving, but I've never ever tried it at all, or the techniques. I've obviously done a lot of scuba diving, but freediving is actually very different. There's a lot of different disciplines. I really wanted to try it, and I didn't want to do it wrong, and so I've booked myself onto a course with Freediving Planet here in Moalboal, which was recommended to me. It's supposed to be a really great place to learn to freedive, and there's obviously some really cool stuff in the water here, so it'll probably be quite beautiful as well. I think I'm doing the 2-day PADI intermediate course. Yesterday he went through with me some equalizing techniques. So when you go down in the water, you have to equalize every meter to 2 meters just so your ears don't go wild. There's probably a more technical way of explaining that, but that's the best I can do. You equalize a bit differently in freediving, because normally I will use my stomach to equalize, but apparently you've just got to use just what's up here. I don't know, it's all a bit complicated, but I've been given some techniques to try. Also, I've now got to do 2 hours of theory on the PADI library app, so that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 hours, and then I have my first practical session in a pool a little bit later on this afternoon. So I've just spent about 2 hours to 2.5 hours. I'm a really slow reader, so I didn't even get through the whole thing of like the freediving theory course. I can finish that this evening as long as I'm done before tomorrow, but right now I'm heading to the dive school. I'm going to be doing my first little bit in the water, just going to be a case of just holding my breath, doing some swims. I'll tell you all about it. This is the pool we've been practicing in. So we've been doing static apnea and dynamic apnea. So static apnea is where it literally just holding your breath and dealing with the contractions. I wasn't too bad. I had a contraction after a minute. No, 1 minute?
First time 1 minute 30, second time 1 minute.
Second time 1 minute. So I held my breath for a maximum of 1 minute 40. But that was like after having contractions. It was the most uncomfortable thing ever. But Albon was coaching me through it, making sure I like stay down. Just, you know, you literally just have to deal with it. So that was the static apnea, and then the dynamic one is where you're swimming underneath the water, and I had to do 25 minutes was the, no, 25 meters was the requirement. I think I ended up doing about 35 meters,
38?
which is good.
Oh, 37.
37 meters. So I went to the end of the pool, back again, and then a little bit, and then I had to come out the side. But you always have to control your coming up from the water, which I find really difficult because all you want to do is just come up when you're out of breath and go but you can't, you have to control it, otherwise you don't pass, and I want to pass. Good morning everybody, day 2 of the free diving course. It's currently about 8:30 and I have to be in the dive shop at about 8:45 to start the day. I actually had a really early start because I went for brekkie at about 6 a.m. because you're supposed to eat well before you start diving, because you don't really want anything in your stomach because it affects how long you can hold your breath for, it affects your relaxation, and I don't want to do anything to hinder these things because it's challenging enough. I just had like a ham, cheese and mushroom crepe, but I only ate half of it from like the coffee shop down the road. I wish I could have eaten the whole thing, but I just thought, nah, I can really feel myself filling up now and I don't want that to happen. But no coffee, I've had no coffee yet, which is one of the hardest parts because obviously that makes your heart rate go faster and you're not relaxing, which is exactly the opposite of what you want when you're freediving. So no coffee allowed. I just finished off my theory, passed the theory test, which is good. So all is going well so far, but it's my most challenging day. I'm going to be going down to 10 to 16 meters. Yesterday I didn't go down deep at all. It's going to be a real challenge. Equalizing is going to be involved, equalizing and like equalizing the mask as well. Alright, let's go.
It matches how you're gonna go down, but the one you're more comfortable for now.
The biggest key when it comes to freediving is that you have to relax. Before every dive that we did, we would relax at the surface for at least a couple minutes, breathing through the snorkel, trying to relax every muscle you have before descending. The reason you do this is to decrease the amount of CO2 in your lungs as much as you can. When you've been holding your breath for a while and you start feeling uncomfortable, like you really gotta breathe, this isn't actually because you're running out of oxygen. It is the rising level of CO2 in your lungs that makes you feel uncomfortable. At a certain point you get a contraction, and at first it feels so unnatural to just carry on past them. But in freediving it is completely normal, and it is what allows the more experienced divers to hold their breath for several minutes. But this is why relaxation is so important, and to my dismay not having coffee beforehand either. You want to minimize that CO2 buildup as much as possible in order to hold your breath longer.
actually attempting to go down for the first time. So difficult. Going upside down, I actually really couldn't do it. My head started hurting, and I think it's because of my sinuses. So I have not a blocked nose, but like a little bit of a running nose. I'm coming on the back end of a cold, and that's not where you're supposed to be diving in. I really thought it was going to be okay, but no, it's causing me problems, which is making me so upset, because if I can't do that this afternoon, then it means that I won't be able to pass if I can't do the upside down grabbing. But I'm trying again this afternoon. I've been steaming my face with some eucalyptus oil to try and see if I can do any better, and just blowing my nose all the time. But what I did manage to do was go down to 10 meters the right way up and equalize and stuff, and I was all good at doing that. And yeah, it was tough. Like when you're down there and all you want to do is breathe, and you're getting these contractions, but you've got to relax. Mark, my instructor, was saying, just smile, just smile. How can you smile when all you want to do is breathe? It was really, really difficult, but I enjoyed the challenge, and yeah, we'll see this afternoon if I can manage to do the upside down swim down to 10 meters. 10 meters is the requirement, and 16 would be the maximum. I don't think I'm going to get that far. Getting into wetsuit for the second dive. It's still wet from earlier. Doesn't have time to dry. I've only had about 3 hours rest. Had some food. Tried to clear my sinuses. Don't think it worked. My nose is running. This is not good. Plaiting my hair for the water because I put the hood on. I think if I leave it down, it just goes absolutely mangled and horrible, so I'd rather just keep it fairly compact. Unfortunately, not the best news. I won't be able to pass because, unfortunately, my sinuses were making my head hurt so much that I still couldn't do the one where you're upside down going down, because it wasn't about the equalizing, it was just literally my sinuses were making my nose bleed. My nose hasn't bled in about 10 years. So I've passed everything on the certification apart from that one thing. So it means that I'm a basic free diver, but not the actual free diver. But hopefully I'll get it at some other point in the Philippines. It's frustrating when something temporary like a cold comes at exactly the time you don't want it to. Not that there ever really is a good time to have a cold. I do feel really proud of myself though for giving it my best shot despite the circumstances. But also this means the challenge is not over. I'm definitely not someone who likes to leave these kind of things unfinished. So watch this space, because this banana has not given up on this dream just yet. In other news, freediving wasn't the only thing I got up to in Moalboal, so I hope you stay to watch the next video to continue following this solo adventure through the Philippines.